Welcome to SquareOne Training. I'm Lisa and I'm going to take you through Excel Essentials. This is all about getting you motivated with Excel, showing you how to build spreadsheets from scratch. We're going to look at some basic formulas, which is adding up, doing percentages, taking numbers away from others. We're going to look at essential formatting that's going to really help you using this package. Okay, so I'm going to start by showing you Excel, and what we'll actually do is we'll just do a new spreadsheet for you, and we'll start from the beginning. So in Excel we have the ribbon. Now I'm going to use the ribbon, and everything I do on this session is going to be the Home tab, which is the main area of Excel. It doesn't matter what version of Excel you're using. Everything that I pick on this course will be something that you can actually do on your version as well. Underneath the ribbon, we have the formula bar, which is this little fella here, which is, again, fabulous as well. And this is where we can see where we are in Excel. So wherever we click, this is called a cell. It's going to tell us what cell we're on. So I'm on H6 at the moment, which is the cell reference. The bar as I type anything I type will go here, which is called the formula bar. So we'll be using that today as well. And at the bottom, we've got sheet 1. Best practice is always name your sheet. So you do that by double clicking on sheet 1 and you type over the top of it. So if I say sales 2020 and then press enter. Okay, so I've named the sheet. You're actually allowed 256 sheets in one file, so you can actually create and save a lot of data. Across the top are columns, so where it says A, B, C, D, etc., they're called columns. And along the side, these are called rows. Okay, and when you first build your spreadsheet, the longest information needs to go down here because it's going to be a lot easier for navigating and printing if the longest information goes down. In A1, I'm going to put name, so that's going to be my salespeople's name. I'm then going to move here. Now to move here, I can use the keys on the keyboard, the arrow keys. I can click, or personally, I like the tab key. The tab key is on the left-hand side of the keyboard and it's above the caps lock. So I quite like that navigation, the tab key. So I've pressed tab to jump here. I'm then going to put in sales, tab, cost, tab, profit, tab. I'm going to give a bit of bonus as well. So they're my main headings that are going to go across the top of my spreadsheet. And then underneath, I now need to type all the names of all the stuff. You'll be glad to know I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you a little trick instead. So if I put in sales, the word sales, and then I'm going to put 1 in. So if you imagine that's the first person's name. If I would like all the names, so to go sales 2, sales 3, sales 4, you simply click on here. Now, when you move your mouse in Excel, it does lots of different jobs. When it's sort of navigating and floating around, it's a fat cross, which means select. When you go to the corner of Excel, which is here, it becomes a cross, which we call autofill, which is to copy. And then you've got another bit, which is this bit, which is on the edge, which has basically moved the data. So I'm making sure it's the thin cross, and then I'm going to click and I'm going to pull. And when you pull it, you let go, let's let go there at wherever you want to finish, and it will automatically fill in your data. If that's not what you wanted it to say sales 1 all the way down, don't ignore the square that's there, because you can click there and say, no, I wanted you to copy the cells. So I can show you. So it repeats it all the way down. I didn't really want that though. So if I go back onto what it was and say fill series, which is what it was doing. Okay, so that will work with things like if you type the word product 1, product 2, it would work. If you were to type January and pull that, it will go February, March. If you typed week 1 and dragged, it would go week 2, week 3, week 4. So it's anything logical that it would work. Okay, sales. When you type money or numbers in Excel, don't type any pound signs because you can format that after. But as you type numbers, what will happen is, let me move that. What will happen as you type in the numbers, you'll notice that they go to the left-hand side of the cell. It's not until you press enter on the keyboard that you see it moving to the right, because numbers should always go to the right. And that is because when you line up your data, you want to see this standing out more. So if somebody sells that, you want to physically see the numbers coming out further than the 1, 2, 3. They stand out more. It will knock a 0 off on the end. Don't think you've done anything wrong. Just carry on to your heart's content and bash the numbers in until you're happy. I'm going to get some results for the next one. I'm going to show you another trick. So everybody else has sold 500. And if I want 500 all the way down, I don't type it. I go on to that magic little tiny little square that we talked about. I wait till I get the thin cross, and I can click it and I can drag it if I want to, or alternately, because it knows how far to go down, because you've already told it, you simply double click. So it's on there, double click, and it will automatically do it for you. That is fantastic when you're doing timesheets, because you could put an 8 in, double click it down, then you can come back and then change some of these if they're different, but it will save you loads of time. That's called autofill. I never get bored of that. Cost, I'm going to do the same for everyone. I'm going to say everybody costs me 80. There's the odd person who costs me more, but I'm going to say 80. Going to go on there, going to double click it down, and then I can go back and alter the ones where it might be different. Hope you like that one. Right, profit. We're going to do some calculations. So calculations, I call this simple maths. This is where you want to say, what is the sales figure minus the cost? So in other words, what is in B2 minus C2? Okay, so you play battleships with it. That's where you go equals that cell there minus that cell there. I call that battleships because there was a game where you used to say, I want to bomb B2 and then minus, and again, the same. It was all cell references. So it's quite easy to remember. So I want to take what is in B2 and then I want to minus what is in C2. And when you've got the answer, again, you double click and it calculates absolutely everything for you. If I change this figure here, it's dynamic. It will work out. I need to change the profit because everything's calculating to its cell. It doesn't know what the actual number is inside. Okay, VAT. I want to say, what is the sales times 20%? I'm doing 20% because I'm going to do the English version. So equals that figure there and you times. Now, when you look at the keyboard, the times is a star, which lives above the 8 on the keyboard. So you need to go Shift and 8. So take B2 times 20%. And again, you can do Shift and 5 to get your percent sign. Some people type 0.2. That works perfectly well as well. Okay, I'm just going to do that because I think that's easy. And then I double click. Bonus, I want to say take the sales figure, but this time times it by 5% because 5% is the bonus I'm prepared to give. So that cell times 5%. So equals B2 times 5%, which is the bonus I want to give. Double click. And there's your answers. Hope you like that. That's a really, really quick way. I call that simple maths because you're literally saying take one number, times it by another, or take that minus that. It didn't need any brackets around it because we weren't mixing calculations. We weren't adding and then taking away or adding and dividing. We were just saying, what is that minus that? So that was in fact good enough. At the beginning of the session, I actually said to you, don't worry about putting the pound signs in and typing those in because you can come back and do that at the end. You can either highlight just the range that you want to do it with. So you could highlight from B2 to F29 and then do it. Or you could do it on the whole of the columns if you knew you were going to get masses of data. For this example, I'll just do the columns for now. So I'm going to highlight column B to column F. So I'm highlighting the range that I would like. And then once I have done that, I will then come up here. This is called the number format area. And you can do currency with this. One click and it will automatically do what we call accountancy currency. It will put the pounds on for you. Alternately, you can click the down arrow instead. You could say that the amounts are euros or dollars or whatever you want. There's even more options as you go here. There's every single currency that you can think of that you might need as well. Let's go English. So I hope you like that. That is a quick summary of quick calculations on how I would do commission rates and bonuses and that. Okay, I've got a spreadsheet already set up for you that I want to talk to you about. And I'd like you to look at this one. This is just a training spreadsheet. And on the training spreadsheet, I've got multiple sheets down the bottom. I'm just going to use this one for now and talk to you about what I've done. Every single column of this data I've put a heading in. You'll see no blank columns anywhere. It's always continuous data for me. To get that color, I have gone to what we call as something called fill, and I've clicked there, I've highlighted the area, I've clicked there, and I've said that I'd like it in orange and then I'd like the text in white. So I use those two a lot to do the effect that you'll see in there. Okay, so I highlighted the cells first, like that, and then I did the color. Okay, these are column widths. So can you see these are bigger? Some of these are bigger than others. So when I type this as well, I actually size the columns, and to size them, I moved to the line of the column and I clicked and I dragged the width that I wanted. So you actually go after the column that you want to size, so in between them, in between the one that follows. You can either click and drag them to size them, or you can double click, and if you double click, that's called a best fit, and it will just do it to the width of the text. So that's the difference. If you drag it, you can have whatever you like, but I actually use a lot of best fit where I just double click as well. Okay, VAT. I'm going to work out what the VAT is. So this is what we did in the last session that you just saw with the other file. So I would like to say, what is that amount times 20%? So exactly the same, equals that cell there times 20%. So I'm going to key that in and press enter. Fabulous. So I worked out the VAT of that cell in seconds. If ever you click and you copy a formula down and you start seeing hashes, don't panic. That means that your column's not wide enough. So if ever you see that, that's just not wide enough. So I've done that on purpose. I've made the column too small so I can show you. So you just come here between and double click, and you'll see your marvelous VAT figures. Okay, total. If you want to know what the total is of those two added together, you go AutoSum. Now AutoSum is amazing. It will automatically, whenever I want to add up, it will work out what you want to add. And it's very powerful because if you've got 3 numbers that you're adding, it will grab 3. If you've got 10, however many, doesn't matter. AutoSum will just grab it, and it's highlighting these two because I've got no numbers directly above, and it's very intelligent. It goes, I think she wants to add those up. So if I do that again, that is, I click AutoSum, which is add up, perfect. And then I press AutoSum again, which finishes it. You can press enter as well on the keyboard if you prefer. But I just do that to start it and that to finish. Okay, so there's the answer. That's those two added together. Can you see the little calculation here? That calculation is saying, I want to add, so equals sum means add, E2 to F2. Perfect. And then you just double click, and there you go. You have an answer. And that's automatically then adding up all of your cells, which is fabulous. Adding up down the bottom, let's just put a total in there a second. Adding up at the bottom is the same concept. You put your cursor where you'd like the answer, which is here. You do AutoSum, which is add up. It's going to look above because it's got numbers above. If that's what you want to add, you press AutoSum again, which is. If for any reason you did AutoSum and it's not what you want to add, you only want to add a few of them, you can still get your mouse and you can still choose a range. So if I was to press enter now, that's what that would do. And if ever you get a calculation, you think, I can't remember what that's adding up, if you just double click it, it will actually color code the range to show you what you're adding. So that's clearly not good. I pressed escape to come out then, by the way. So how do I add up? I click where I want the answer. I do auto sum. And again, there's my answer. Perfect. Do I want to go here and do that again? Do I want to go there and do that again? Probably not. So once I have an answer, I go on this corner here and I actually drag it. And when you are going across a spreadsheet, you've always got to drag it. You can't double click because that only works down. So you do the answer and you go on the corner and you drag it. Okay, and you can see straight away now that you know what's wrong with the VAT column. We just need to widen it. Hope you like that. Hope you like that. I really do. I never get bored of that. It's totaling and auto summing and double clicking down hopefully is going to be fab for you. Next thing I'm going to show you before we end the session is how you do date calculations. So let's move me out the way a minute. I'm going to go down the bottom here. And days calculations, if you have a look at the spreadsheet, I've actually put dates in, and I have done that by using slashes, which are very important. Never do dots, it's always slashes. And then to work out a date calculation, I want to do this. I want to know how many days it's been since I got paid. Okay, so that's when I dropped off the goods. That's when I got paid. But how many days was it? So you go equals, meaning give me an answer. You click on the date paid column, and then you minus when you gave them the goods. So in other words, I2 minus H2. You press enter. That'll tell you that it took them 35 days to pay you. You double click it down and you've worked out your date calculations. So dates are actually numbers. There's nothing weird and wonderful behind them. They are working exactly the same. I could go on forever, as you've probably gathered, but this is a taster, and hopefully, it's a taster of a little bit of Excel, but hopefully you won't be frightened to give it a go and have a go at some of these formulas, adding up, doing percentages or adding up or whatever it might be. I really, really hope you enjoyed it, and enjoy your day. Thank you very much. Thank you.